So I was thinking, the wheels were turning. Just posted a answer to Alan Stewart, Mainmeister. He had asked about those little arcade machines I have, so I was sort of giving him a little video response in a way. And I was thinking to myself, you know, I want to ask some questions, specifically to Wee Bob. Why Wee Bob specifically? Well, you remember we did the Friday Foursome for Novabug, and it was a lot of fun. Everybody was kind of chiming in with their various choices for stuff. In the last one, because Novabug has unfortunately retired the series, Wee Bob mentioned he really likes doing these because he likes being asked questions. And I thought, you know, I'm going to ask Wee Bob some questions. So that's what we got here. I've done this once before for Swifto, and I thought, let's throw a couple questions around to Wee Bob. I want to hear some feedback from you, Wee Bob. Since you like questions, here's 5 of them. So, my first one is, what was your first video game? I've already told the story about how mine was Space Invaders, and I'd like to know, like, you are probably in the same age era as myself, so you've been around for video games pretty much from the beginning, would be my guess. I don't know. So what was the very first one you played, and what was kind of your experience? Tell me the story of the very first time you laid eyes and hands on a control of a video game. Which game was it, and how did that all, what was your experience with that? My second question is, were there arcades when you grew up in your area? And what kind of memories do you have of them? I ask this because I've occasionally thrown questions to Alan Stewart for his Friday Waffle, mentioning, you know, pinball things and stuff about the arcade scene in Scotland back in the day. And Alan, now, I don't know, he grew up in a different area from you, I'm sure, so maybe it was different in your neck of the woods, but were there arcades? I'm assuming probably beach town things like summer holiday resort, well, holiday destinations. Anywhere there was a fair, I guess there were video game machines, but were there actually arcades in your neck of the woods? And what were they like? Did you go to any? Or is Alan right? It was kind of a non-thing back then in Scotland where you lived. Third question. You have mentioned before you like Christopher Odd and his playthrough of Alien Isolation. Ironically, my wife and I have watched that too, and we love it. My wife was playing Alien Isolation. Too scary for me, and that's part of my question. But we really enjoyed Christopher Odd's playthrough. So when you mentioned it, I was like, well, what are the chances? Because I think he's out of Saskatchewan, like he's a Canadian YouTuber. I was just like, what are the chances that Wee Bob is watching the same stuff we are for the same playthrough of Alien Isolation? And it's made me wonder. Video game horror games are a bit of a, I don't know, love them or hate them among the crowd. Personally, I can't play them to save my life. I am petrified of any scary games. Never mind the modern stuff. I mean, pretty much Quake was the first horror style or very, you know, creepy style of a video game I couldn't play. I was out. That was it. I will never play a scary video game again, so I'm curious what your take is on that, Wee Bob. Do you like horror video games? Are they an adrenaline rush that you enjoy? Or are they freaky stuff that you want to avoid like the plague, such as myself? Fourth question, and this one is a biggie. Like myself, you are not in the millions of subscribers numbers. You know, it's a slow slog for those of us who are very small numbers of subscribers, but we carry on, we do it because we enjoy it, and that's a good thing. I think that's positive and healthy. For those watching, Wee Bob additionally also has an art channel, so I'm going to put a link to Wee Bob's like regular discussion vlog type channel, and also his art channel down below. He's been doing very well with that, and that's awesome. And my question for you, Wee Bob, is to do with those numbers of subscribers. Do they matter? Is it important? Is it like a factor? Because my sister asked me years ago, when have you made it in numbers of subscribers in your head? And I said back then, 400. That was sort of the number that I reached. I thought, hey, I've done it. I've reached a milestone of a proper number of subscribers. Excellent. But do those numbers matter? Like, on the one hand, we're doing this for fun, and it's a laugh, and I have always echoed what Lawn Boys Post said years ago. One view of a video that I make is priceless. So that is true. So as a result, do the numbers matter at all? I'm going to put forward a small perspective that I have that is kind of true. I think in a very small way they matter very minorly, in as much as if I'm a YouTube channel dedicated to, I don't know, pottery or baseball card collecting or sewing or something, or Elvis Presley or the Beatles, like if I've got, here's what the niche is of my channel, and somebody who's a famous spokesperson on that topic, if somebody who's like a journalist or somebody who's covered that subject matter for years stumbles across a video that I'm saying, you know, the whole thing about blah de blah wasn't really true. It was actually based on thingamabob. I would say somebody like a journalist or whatever who's like, okay, who's this guy pontificating on this topic that I know really well? Oh, wait a minute. He's only got 1,000 subscribers, so he's not important, he's not relevant. His opinion means nothing, or his information means nothing. I think that might be where subscriber numbers matter in a way. I could be wrong. Like, what do you think, Wee Bob? Since we're kind of small subscriber number people, do those numbers really matter? We're doing it for fun, but is there maybe a place where it is kind of important? What do you think? What's your opinion on that? And finally, just to make it a little lighter, since you're into art, since you're an artistic fella who does great drawings, what are the most artistic retro video games? What would you say in olden days, games that we call retro now? What games are really artistic in nature? What are they that kind of tick that box of like, oh, that's a piece of art? One, as an example that I would maybe suggest is, have you ever seen the game Calibri? That was on the Sega Genesis, or the 32X for the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive. It used all the extra processing power to show an incredible world that up I think to that time you couldn't really depict on a TV screen. And I would say, yeah, that one looks very artistic. That one is like a moving painting in a way. So, Wee Bob, what are some retro, old school games that are very, very artistic? You would know. You're on that topic. Okay, so there we go. There's 5 questions for Wee Bob. I'm going to send those out, and yeah, I don't know, the gears were turning in my head, and I just thought, I want to ask some questions. So there we go. Having just done an answer for MainMeister, now I'm doing some questions. All right, well, until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.